say live for me too, right? I think we're live.
It says live on mine. It says off air on my phone though.
Yeah, me too. It's weird. I don't see it on the...
and it's weird because I have to watch myself up here and down here.
Yeah, it's on the tablet. It's up.
Okay.
We're live.
You guys can go watch from my tablet. Okay.
Oh, the kids want to see.
Well, no. For some reason, it won't let me. I was going to try to view the comments from there, but it won't let me.
Right. That's weird because I have them here, like if they're there or whatever.
I don't know. I'm trying to like angle it up so you don't see it.
Watching it. Do we want to wait until people show up?
Yeah. Did you share it? Because I can't go in and share it.
I can't share it from the tablet. I'd have to share it from my phone, but we're videoing on the phone. Why are we waving a cigarette in the camera? Thank you.
You're like, did you call
a man's
again?
Being a
Yes,
goofball.
that's exactly what I did.
What happened? Oh.
Let's see if I can go in and hold on, because it's playing.
We have one person watching. Who's watching?
Because here I'm signed.
I'm watching on the tablet.
Okay. Notifications. This works. Watch us on my phone, which is weird. Let me turn down the volume.
I know, right? It's weird. I know, I gotta turn it up on mine. It's weird seeing ourselves.
Okay.
You know? I don't have anywhere to plug it in.
So then how do I share the actual, like, how do I share the actual thing from?
You just gotta click the, like, there should be a share button on where you're watching.
Hold on. Let me log out of
there's people watching now.
Uh-oh. There is.
Hey, Aqua Witch. Hey, Noah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Did it work?
Noah's sharing the link now.
Okay,
He said he's sharing the new link.
I can't figure out how
Thank you.
It's not letting me figure out how to.
I could if I was on my phone, but we're filming with my phone, so.
Okay.
I don't want to just.
Hey, sharing the new link now, because we're awesome like that. Young now.
Hi there, Abigail.
That's Surrey.
What was that?
That was Surrey. Okay, she's yelling at me. What?
Holy crap, Ravenflower's in. Hey!
Oh, Ravenflower's on. Okay.
Fangirling right now.
So I'm trying to do this so that I can put this up and read the connection as to who we are and what we're doing, or
everything you said was just totally breaking up. I feel like it's
okay. Noah, Raven, you aren't live chat out yet. They should be after their 24-hour stream. I don't know how either one of them are still up, but thank God Noah is, or this wouldn't have happened.
Right?
So
yeah, we wouldn't have been able to figure this out.
No, we wouldn't. It was rough, even with them. So
definitely a pain in the butt.
Yeah. We're doing a live chat. It's called Walk the Line because we walk the line between white and black. My phone's going off and it wants to play music. Okay. And there you go.
I'm sorry, say that again, because
I said
just
we walk
broke
the
up
line
at the end
between
there.
white and black, and it's not something that a lot of people discuss on a normal chat because that line is so blurry, I think.
Right.
Just as what's right and what's wrong. I've had witches that like won't even get a job spell because they think it's changing the will or taking it from somebody else, which, you know, to each their own, I guess. But if I want a job,
right,
I know at the end of the day, I'm going to get what I need. Not necessarily always what I want, but what I need.
Right. Exactly. All right. So I guess we can do our introductions, right? Since we're like, we talked about what we want to talk about in the video, and then we can tell everybody who we are if they don't already know. You go first. We can't see you now. I don't know what's going on. You're back.
You can't see me? Okay.
No, it went away for a second. Now you're back.
Oh, it might be my service because I'm down in the basement, so the Wi-Fi doesn't always catch up down here.
Gotcha.
So go ahead, your introduction.
Who are you? Tell everybody.
You go first.
You're first. What's up, YouTube? It is NightshadeMoon here, and I am with the lovely
Fluff Bunny. My real name is Dorothy, but either way, it's sitting in all these different poses. It's like you're voguing because it keeps freezing, so it looks like you're voguing where you freeze. About how long you've been a witch, or because you have a lot of followers, and you have about 100 and something followers, so I don't know if you want to.
Well, I could talk about that. I'm newer to YouTube. I was on YouTube for quite a few years, but I just started doing videos maybe since, I don't know, October, I guess. So I'm kind of a new YouTuber, but I have been practicing for 17 years this year. I don't know, this summer it'll be like 17 years. So, but I'm still, learning and growing and, learning new things and enjoying watching people on YouTube and seeing how everyone else, does their practices, and it's fun meeting new friends.
It's weird because I'm watching you here on our chat, and then you here about 5 minutes behind.
So, it is weird. Let's see here and here.
So I am.
Table.
I'm gonna flip that. Okay. So it stops distracting me. I am a newbie witch. I am new to YouTube. I really got into YouTube trying to find other witches. Where I am in the South, it's hard to, you don't just walk into a room and go, hey, I'm a witch. Who else is a witch? Or who else isn't, isn't going to church this Sunday? That being said, my name Fluff Bunny has nothing to do with me being a newbie witch. It's just kind of, I don't like the negative association it has and how it's used so derogatory on the internet. So I actually changed it during Noah and Random's live chats where they were talking about how people were basically making fun of newbie witches. And so go ahead, make fun of me. I don't care. And I would rather something, I really don't, but I would rather turn something that's so negative into something positive. One, what's wrong with being a new witch? Everybody was a new witch at some point. And two, what's wrong with being all happy-go-lucky, love and light? I'm not fluffy in that way. I tend to skew a little bit darker and have to actually rein back what I do before I do it.
Right.
Just that's my inclination. I've called myself a witch for about a year, maybe a little bit more, but then I was thinking back on it the other day, and because the way I came into it was through my tarot teacher getting a cleansing about 2 years after my tarot classes started. But she was having me do spells, and I set up an altar to La Seren, so I did not have realized what I was doing. It was very comfortable to me, and it was very much something that felt natural. It didn't feel weird, so I didn't consider it like witchcraft, or it didn't occur to me that I was casting spells. It didn't occur to me that I was, doing cleansings on myself. It didn't occur to me that I set up an altar to La Seren, and that would be weird, or, not the norm, because it was so natural to me. And so I've called myself a witch, and it literally took somebody coming out going, by the way, you're a witch, for me to be like, oh, that makes sense.
Right. Awesome.
for me to actually call myself a witch, but I guess I was practicing before that. I just didn't associate the two. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just act on it.
I feel like that
Probably
happens a
should
lot.
have realized something was up, but you know, we live, we learn.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that happens a lot too, that a lot of people wind up doing things and they're not associating what they're doing that is witchcraft, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they go a long time doing that and don't even realize. So it's cool that you like figured it out and you going where you want to go and stuff like that, you know, with your path.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of grateful that I wasn't a witch at like 2021 because I probably would have fucked some shit up. Like, shh, babies, hush. Sorry. I probably would have, because now even with being older and knowing that, you know, you probably shouldn't curse like somebody that hurts your feelings. You know, at 20, 21, even, you know, 17, 18, 19, probably would have seriously hurt somebody. Just because not having the discipline, knowing that it's not nice to give everybody the runs just because they break up with you. Like, you know, it's, hey, monkeys. I don't know if you're gonna play. Okay. You're a monkey. One of the topics we are going to cover tonight is having your children when you're in the craft. Because obviously I don't hide it from my kids. They know that I'm a witch. Your son's older. So do you do stuff with him or do you? Thank you,
I let him, you know, he plays with some stuff of mine. He definitely tries every chance he can get to climb up on my dresser and get to whatever's on my altar up there. But I don't really delve too deeply into teaching him anything just yet. I mean, certain things because he is 2. But I definitely want to like focus right now on maybe like teaching him about nature and, you know, that kind of like hippie kind of aspect is what I would like to call it. Just, you know, going out and maybe gathering flowers and stuff like that. He doesn't want to go to bed. You're fine. Let him be.
It's funny because my kids have been on a lot of Google Chats, and I was actually watching a video earlier. They were talking to it. That's okay. They were talking to it and wondering why people weren't talking back to them and getting really mad at the YouTube video because nobody was talking to them.
Sorry. I might have to go deal with that for a minute. I don't know. Trying to scope out the comments here too.
It's hard to follow the comments and
right, and talk. I see why, you know, a lot of stuff goes unanswered sometimes. Sorry for him screaming, everybody. He's just not wanting to go to sleep and he's tired. I mean, I try to teach him maybe a little bit. He does play with my brooms, so I just, you know, I'll teach him a little as it goes, and if he wants to follow this path, you know, when he's old enough or older or whatever, you know, then he can. I don't want to ever force him to do anything, you know. He is still freaking out.
It's harder to tell them.
Sorry.
They can't. That's okay. It's harder to tell them that they can't like go to school and tell them that mommy's a witch and has a wand, and you know, people tend to look at, you know, it's hard to tell your kids that because they're excited about it with Harry Potter, the Descendants, you know, all the Disney movies. It's cool to be a witch, especially when you're 5 and 6, their ages, but it's not cool to explain to your parents teacher that you know why they say it has a wand. You know, those are kind of the things that you know, like my daughter has a unicorn necklace that I enchanted, and you know, she went to school and said, you know, my mommy gave it to me so I would have good dreams and you know, I would have a good day. And the teacher's like, oh, that's nice. But then she mentioned something to me. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, she was having bad dreams. So I told her that the necklace would give her good dreams. But you kind of have to like pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, but your children want to tell everybody. And it's just not socially acceptable to be a witch, especially in a kindergarten circle. But on that note, like, I let my kids do whatever they want as far as religion. You know, I bought my daughter a children's Bible and a witchy deck of tarot cards at the same time. So, you know, like whatever path they choose, whether it be this one or a different one, I'm not going to stop them from exploring it.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I mean, personally, that's how I feel I'd want to be, because religion was never forced upon me growing up. My parents were both out of some kind of Christian Catholic religion, and they couldn't really figure out where they wanted to take us to go to church, and they weren't really big church goers. So it was kind of like, they were like, whatever, you know. So I think it's good to like let them choose. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm trying to, unicorns, I love them. Unicorns, I love them. So I bought one so I could pet it. Unicorns. I missed something in the comments.
Who loves my cup? Is that Cat? What? Hey, girl. Oh my God. More fangirling going on.
Right? You're like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's people I've been watching for like a long time before I even like made videos. I've been watching certain people that I just, you know, and finding new people to watch, and just, it's been, you know, I was always kind of nervous to make videos.
Oh, the skull cup. Okay, I'm like, what cup? I missed the cup.
This cup. They're from like the dollar store.
I'm not good at multitasking. Do you work with Lilith, or is it just for decoration? Okay, so I'm not, if I type the answer, I'm not going to be able to multitask and talk to you at the same time. So yes, I work with Lilith. I work with her in a different way than a lot of people, and doing research on her is rather difficult. I'm trying to go back to Samaria, like before the Bible, before Adam and Eve, that way. There's actually a video that, if I remember and if I know how to, or if Noah can post it, on somebody that does with Lilith, that like really made me excited, because when a lot of people talk about Lilith, they talk about her being a dark goddess and a darker path and vengeful and everything. Where for me, because she has been with me since I was a little girl, like my mom, who is uber religious, I talk with my hands a lot too, people. My mom, who is uber religious, actually told me the story of Lilith when I was like 7 or 8. And so she read the Lost Books of Eden and felt the need to tell me story. And so Lilith was about, but I love the name. And so having that background, and then when I came into the craft, it kind of all made sense. But for me, she always had a more mothering tone. She never really got involved with my work. Like, she was there as more of a guardian and protector, and but not this like demoness, vengeful spirit. In the past couple of weeks, it's the first time she's come in where she's, I don't want to say interfering, but where she's taking an active role in what I'm doing. Like literally an image of a bat head off. And that's the first time I've seen that. But she came to me through different ways. There was, I actually had a reading with Arwen, trying to, because I knew there was a female goddess figure, but I didn't want to call it Lilith, because what you hear about Lilith and what you see about Lilith, it's very different than who I experienced. So I was like, well, maybe it's not her, maybe it's somebody else, maybe it's this. And even though all the signs kept coming back to Lilith, I didn't believe it was her because of how other people represented her. And it really came down
Right.
to, I had a reading with Arwen, and we were kind of delving into this, and she's like, watch for the blackbirds, especially in the next couple of days. Watch for the blackbirds. It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be bats. It's not going to be, she's like, crows and little blackbirds. I swear every single blackbird in the southern hemisphere migrated to where I walked.
Hey, the
like
light.
they were covering the trees.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My
They were
phone's
covering the
dying. I
trees.
need an extension cord.
I've never seen so many blackbirds in my life. It looked like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Literally
Wow.
on my walk the next morning, like they were blanketing the sky. And I was like,
That is
okay, I
awesome.
got it. The birds, got it. I understand now. I will stop questioning it. Got it. You know, but it literally took that, like the slap in the face, like somebody telling me you're a witch, for me to believe that I was a witch. It took thousands of black birds to be like, okay, got it. It's you.
That's
That most
awesome,
people
though.
understand. Yeah, but you know, if you want to get slapped in the face, that's what happened.
Right.
She
That's so
appeared
cool,
in
though.
numerous white light and sun. She has a good side. She does, but it's not the side that you usually see. So, but because it's a mothering, it's a very mothering relationship. But I think because she's been there since I was a little girl, that's why that's the relationship that I have with her.
Right.
You know, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's very much like a mother-daughter relationship where I don't have that with my mother. So I've taken on that role because that's what I need, and that's what I needed growing up. And the
That's
don't fuck
awesome.
with me is great too.
Yeah. I can tell that about you, though. Like, you have that about you. Like, I remember this has been brought up in other little Google Hangouts we've done where, you know, you can definitely see that about you. Like, don't fuck with me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's not in my I don't know what you're never mind what's
Not
going
at
on
all.
behind me. But yeah. It's just who I am. But I think a lot of told me one time that you can have anything you want, you just have to take it. And that message has been very strong with me probably the past year. And
Right.
a lot of things have changed over the past, obviously coming into the craft too, but having that message gave me a sense of power that I didn't understand before, and not like a witchy
Right.
power, just a sense of independence and strength.
Right.
I needed it at this stage in my life.
I can definitely say that as well. I mean, I'm almost dropping my phone. So I've been, you know, practicing for quite some time, but I've never had a matron goddess up until the time that I first started doing YouTube videos. And it was definitely, I've noticed an insane difference, you know, and I work with Hecate. And I definitely was, I don't know that I was ignoring her trying to reach out to me or make her presence known through my entire life. But once I really started working with her and everything, and like, you know, maybe like meditating to reach out to her and like commune with her in a sense, you know, I realized that she's been calling to me my whole life. And I was just like, wow, all this time, like, you know, that I didn't think I was going to have a matron goddess, or, you know, I've been practicing forever, it felt like, and, you know, whatever, you know, she was there like the entire time. And I feel like she probably had a strong play in the craft, you know, and I just never realized until I was like 13 when the signs kept coming, and I was just like, all right, I got to go with this because I can't get all this witchcraft business out of my head.
See, but how was it like? Because I know during their 24-hour chat they had witchy teens on, and I didn't catch very much of it, but how was it, you know, 13, 14, 15, having that, especially, you know, even now, like most witches are in the closet. Lord knows I'm in like a room behind the closet, or, you know, the little crawl space that people hide in. I'm behind the whatever's beyond the closet. That's where I exist right now. But you know, how was it at that age dealing with being a witch? And I mean, were you able to come out to your friends or your family, or was it something that you had to do alone?
I'm gonna need you to say that again. Did I what with my family? It was
Did you
cutting
come out to your friends or your family, or was it something that you went through alone at that age?
When I first was interested in doing it, I was about 13, and my friend in school had this book, Teen Witch by Silver Ravenwolf, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? You know, something about witchcraft. And she's like, oh, it teaches you how to be witch. And I'm like, I need this book. I asked my mom for it like numerous times. She kept telling me no, because she was brought up Catholic, and she was like, you're not bringing that shit in my house, you know. But then we went on a vacation, and like the bookstore on the boardwalk at the shore had it, and I showed it to her again, and she was like, read in the front part, there's like a to the parents section. So she read that, and she's like, oh, okay, you're fine, here you go, I'll buy you the book. And that was it. And then my family didn't care, you know. They just didn't want it to be any kind of like devil worship or whatever. They, you know, the typical stereotype stuff that isn't anything what I've ever practiced. So and some of my friends knew, not all of them. From time to time I'd wear a pentacle necklace and stuff, and I did get ridiculed quite a bit in high school, you know, for it. So it was kind of tough, you know. People would talk shit about you because of it, or, you know, I had the whole class chanting that I was a devil worshiper at one point.
Yes.
And yes, I am now. The school tried to actually not let me wear my pentagram or pentacle necklaces or anything anymore, because, you know, it was disrupting the other kids, and they were chanting all that shit in class. And my mom actually had to go in school and like stick up for me, and was like, you know, are you going to tell all the other kids to stop wearing their crosses? It could be offensive to people that aren't practicing that kind of religion, you know. Why should she have to take her pentagram or pentacle off? So, but they never made me. They never enforced it. But as I got older, I just didn't really talk about it to a lot of people. It was very much solitary, you know, especially when you're like, you don't really know what you're doing, you're learning. I didn't have anyone to teach me. So, you know, I kept quiet for a while.
Would you consider yourself a book witch?
I mean, I do love to read. I kind of just, in the beginning, definitely a book witch. You tell me like, oh, do it yourself. Oh, make it your own. You know, you don't have to do it the way it says in the book. I never had anyone tell me that in the beginning, but eventually you kind of figure it out. And, you know, I would say I wing it. I just kind of go with whatever feels right. But I love to read.
See, I have a lot of books, but I don't like, I'm an after the fact reader. And like, I will, you know, come up with a spell, or I'll come up with something that I want to do, and then I'll look for evidence that it's like something that somebody's done before.
Right.
A lot of times I can't find it because, one, it's not like us witches write everything down and publish it. Especially throughout history, you know, it's one of the most persecuted religions ever documented. Right. So you're not going to go back and find, you know, what so-and-so did even 50 years ago. On the other hand, like, I'll go back and I'll be like, okay, well, what is this herb really for that I want to use? Or what, like, I'm obsessed with black mustard seed. I love everything about it. I love the little balls. I love the way they roll all over the place and cause chaos. I love smushing them up. I love the sound that it makes. But it's not something that people use a lot.
Right.
So I went, like, it'll be like, oh, I need this. And then I'll go back and find out what it's for. And that pretty much, the books are like a double check for me.
Right. Sometimes I do that too. If I know I really want to use something and I can't like figure out why, I just feel like I'm being called to use a certain herb, I'll kind of like look back on a few things and like reference a few books and be like, okay, well, maybe I got to figure out why exactly it's calling to me. Like sometimes you don't think, oh, I need this because it's for happiness. I feel like I need it for happiness. I just have to use it, you know? So I definitely feel you on that. I've done that quite a few times as well. Like, definitely recheck after the fact. It happens a lot.
Well, like, even, hey, monkey, will you get, no, I think I have it right here. Sorry, child's over here. Goofing around. Sorry, I'm not in my, I moved into my dad's basement, so, like, everything's kind of in a weird place. But, like, I have, like, the Book of Lilith. I wouldn't get this one. Who was it? Bobby Denny. I wouldn't recommend this one. But I have Animal Magic, and it'll be like I have a dream. Or even when I had like my cleansing, there was a wolf circling. So, you know, I went back and I like what the meaning of the wolf is and why do I keep seeing a bat biting off somebody's head? Like, that's what I'll go back and use books for.
Right.
I don't really use them for like a how-to on witchcraft. One, because I really screwed the stuff up when I first started, because even the books go in order, you don't always get things in the order that you need them. So like I did my first couple of spells and then found out you're supposed to cast a circle. But then that's where like your spirit guides and come in, because they were actually casting the circle for me. So they kind of pick up where I didn't have the experience, and then slowly they, you know, slowly you learn that way. Whereas it was like, oh, oops, oh, well, you know, like, what are you going to do after the fact?
Right. Yeah, I definitely, in a sense, like, I feel like I have my spirit guides definitely trained, to help me and make sure if I'm like forgetting something or, you know, forgetting to keep myself and my family protected in a sense, or if something you might get past the protection barriers and whatnot that I set up, you know, they're definitely on it to, you know, help me in that aspect. They definitely know who or what to let in and what not to. Sounds weird, but
I started, before even like realizing that I was supposed to cast a circle, I started putting a bubble around me anyway.
Which is good.
Yeah, I live in a bubble. It's fine. An emotional bubble, an actual bubble. It's my bubble. But stuff like that where like they taught me to protect myself before I knew what I was doing, if that makes sense. And then, you know, you go back and you read a book, and you're like, oh, that's why I do that. Okay. Like, it makes sense.
That's awesome, though.
And it's scary, and you end up arguing your pendulum in a cemetery because it keeps telling you to go to a children's graves, and you don't, like, stuff like that, where, like, I went to a cemetery, and I work with spirits, and I like cemeteries, and not, but, you know, I kept wanting my pendulum to direct me towards, you know, and it kept saying it was in chaos. So it wasn't like a nice, cute little spell. It kept directing me, and I'm literally in a cemetery at like 9:30 at night, arguing with my pendulum, being, what are you doing to me? What are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me not to do this? And it turns out it's actually a very hoodoo thing, is to use children's graves to cause chaos. Because if you think about it, like, what are my children doing right now? They're in the other room arguing because they're not getting what they want, you know? Like, so if you want to go in and like cause a little chaos somewhere, what else are you going to use? Especially because these were really old children's graves. You know, they died before the turn of the century. So you know that if they died at 2 or 3 months old, they were born, and then they more than likely died of some kind of sickness or disease. So their death wasn't exactly pleasant. So they exist in that state of chaos, where what happens when a child doesn't get what they want? They throw a temper tantrum. So if you want to cause chaos, what are you going to do? You're going to send a child to go throw a temper tantrum. But it took some understanding to realize the methodology behind it, and that you're not going to read in a book. It's just not going to be there, you know?
Exactly.
So I don't know, what's your experience with it?
I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now.
You're like,
Sorry, I'm still thinking about the fact that my son keeps yelling for me and running back in, and I'm like, what are these people thinking of me when my kid won't go to bed?
I can't even hear it.
I don't
so,
care,
like,
but
I hear it.
Well,
like, I don't really hear it. I see when you like look off to the side, but I don't really hear him.
well, yeah, and I have the chat, the comments are over here too, so I kind of like, you know, trying to read them a little bit, but it's tough to keep track of both. At least you're doing okay being able to answer people, and I'm just sitting here because I'm holding my
It's
phone
not
up right
going
now.
very well. I tune you out and I miss half of what you say when I'm responding. So don't think I have some kind of magical power. I can't multitask at all. I'm just really good at switching back and forth to catch enough to understand what you said, but not enough to actually understand fully.
That works though. It's all good. We're new at this. This is our first live video.
Own free will.
I guess we can maybe go more into talking about what it means to us with walking the line between the light and dark. So for me, I feel like walking the line is not really doing things like I guess that people would call negative magic, where you just, you know, put whatever you want out there, and you know, I mean, and hey, if people do this, that's fine. It's on you if you want to do it. This is just my opinions. You know, I definitely feel like for me, being in the gray area would be not going that route and not always just like out to, I don't know, hurt people. Definitely defend myself if, you know, someone's attacking me or my family in any way like that. But I don't really want to go too far as to, you know, want to cause harm. If that happens, I would just want someone to leave me alone, I guess. And that's where my is. Like, I wouldn't ever want to go too far into it. I don't know. It's hard to explain it, you know, like.
Than you. A darker shade of gray.
I would say so, yeah.
The other day, but I don't have a problem because I believe what goes around comes around. So when I put energy into a spell, it's whatever energy that they're putting out that they're going to get back. So it's almost like a reversal. I don't think anybody's going to get anything that they don't deserve. That being said, you know, I have had to pull spells back because it went further than, as a human being, I was comfortable with. And there's been times where I'll be casting a spell and I won't remember what I said or what happened during it. It's like somebody else takes over. And then the next day, someone will be like, oh, this happened. And I'll be like, oh, shit, sorry. Like, my bad.
Wow.
Oops. You know? And I'll like, but it'll take that to trigger what happened the night before. Not that I go around like, cursing everyone and their brother, you know, but you get those little like, almost like a, okay, it worked type of thing. And then there'll be random stuff. Like I asked for, like, as a sign of something working, for it to snow, and it like flurried. No, I asked for it to rain. And it flurried all day. And I'm like, is this an answer to my thing or not? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the message that you're saying. Did it work or did it not work? And I mean, it was the middle of winter in Georgia, so the chances of it raining were not the best. Anyway, so they're like, well, it was precipitation, so you're good there, but I don't know. But then it turned out it worked. So flurries of rain. Got it.
Right. I hear you. I mean, I definitely am not as gray as, you know, you would say you are, definitely. But I mean, I don't have a problem sending something back to somebody if it gets sent to me, like, that we do have a right to defend ourselves because we do have the ability to do so. But I don't know. I guess I'm afraid of the point of where, like, where you said, where you kind of like something took over and you kind of went a little too far. And I don't know. I don't ever want to let myself get that pissed off with a situation that it gets to that point, because I'm sure I could see myself doing it, but I kind of like dial myself back all the time because I don't ever want to, you know, screw over myself in the process or family members, you know, because sometimes that can happen. Careful what you put out there. So, I don't know. Some of it scares me a little bit, so I kind of just keep it toned down, you know.
My problem is that it doesn't scare me. That, like, there's certain things that I won't do, like I won't hurt a child. And
right.
So one time somebody was pregnant. And once I found out that they were in the hospital, like, okay, y'all, wasn't gonna, but okay, so I put somebody in the hospital. I found out they were pregnant. I stopped the spell. Didn't want to hurt the child. Not that this person didn't deserve whatever was coming to them, because I genuinely don't cast a spell just to like rain hell on people. She deserved what she's getting, but the unborn child didn't, and I didn't want to involve the two. What is your views on blood magic? Sorry, one of the questions in the chat, I don't know if you're following along, but Aqua Witch asked, what's your views on blood magic? I have no problem with it. That's your energy. That is part of who you are. I use blood in offerings. I've used blood in spells. I don't know, what are your views on it?
I don't feel there's anything wrong with using it. I have used it before as well. Not very often, but I have done it, and it definitely, it works great when you're doing things for yourself. I feel like, at least with my experiences, that, you know, it's your hair or anything like that. It's like a true, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you know, like if I'm using blood, I'm being serious. If I'm using my blood, I'm, you know, it's shit's serious. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't feel there's anything wrong with using it. It just makes things more powerful.
I think it, you know, some people won't use their hair. Some people won't use, like, you know, like fingernail clippings. I have used my hair in spells. It took me, I was doing a sachet, or like the little gris bags, whatever people call them. And it wasn't working, and it wasn't working, and it wasn't working. And then my tarot teacher, she actually kind of laughed, and she's like, you know what's missing? And I'm like, no, and I can't figure it out. Like, and she's like, dude, you're missing from it. And she's like, you need to put your hair, you need to put something from you in it. And so I've always kind of kept that, especially like if I'm doing a working, you know, for myself, or something that needs my participation.
Right.
Like, because we're getting way too personal here, but I use a Diva cup, and it's really easy to just, you know, use the Diva cup, pour it in a little jar, you got it in the freezer for when you need it. You don't even have to like freak yourself. You know, so
that's awesome.
I can't keep blood in the freezer because I'm not explaining that to my father. So I don't, like, it's not as easy to use like menstrual blood and stuff, or to use, because now I got to prick myself, and I really don't like poking myself. So, you know, probably just use hair or something. But I think there's a lot of energy and a lot of power behind it. And
I agree. It's like a more personal way of linking your workings to yourself when you're doing something for yourself, in a sense, you know. It's more, I mean, yeah, you can use hair and fingernail clippings, but definitely, and I've definitely found that it's a lot more powerful as well. That's funny, the Diva cup. Holy shit.
I mean, if you wanted to collect,
Luna,
and I'm like, I'm talking way too much here. When you use your DNA, shit got real. There's nothing wrong with or right about that. It's a personal path. No one has a right to judge.
That's right,
but,
Ray.
Yes, Diva Cups. I don't know why it took
like
me 36 years to figure out that it was so much. Yeah, but Madame Luna said Diva Cups. Yeah,
it keeps it from being too gross.
Right. Well, that, and it's just so.
Funny.
I mean, it's just so much easier. I don't.
I'm sure it is. I don't have one of those, but I'm sure it is easy to use a Diva Cup.
And
Where did you
Madame
get it?
Luna
Amazon?
says she has one and she uses it to collect menstrual blood to reinforce the boundaries on the property and garden. Exactly. And it's so much easier to collect it in a little cup and pour it than it is to like, there.
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too graphic because there are guys on here and I'm sure that they don't.
I'm sure people, I'm sure they can figure it out.
Period top, but hold on,
No,
I'm
are
trying
you
to get in
turning
so I
red?
can post the link to the video. You guys have any questions? I'm trying to find. Lilith was made from dirt like Adam. Yeah. So okay. Bobby Duddy, because I feel like I can only type so much, but Lilith and Adam were actually created as equals. So going back to and this goes back to like the stories that my mom told me when I was little. It's called The Lost Books of Eden if you want to read it. And the Lost Books of Eden cover more than just Lilith and Adam, but basically he made Adam and he made Lilith, and they were equals in the eyes of him and as far as everything else. When they were created as lights or spirits. They didn't have a body form yet. And when Eve wouldn't lie with Adam, and to where she wouldn't lie beneath him, she wanted to be on top. Either way, she didn't feel like she should be subservient to him because she was created as his equal. She left the garden. She didn't have, right. Sorry, this is totally changing the topic here. She left the garden of her free will. She wasn't cast out. She wasn't demonized. She just left. Where Adam stayed in the garden, and that's when God created Eve from his rib, so that she would be subservient to him and she would lie beneath him. Where right. Lilith didn't find the need to do anything that would make her less than Adam because she was his equal. When Lilith left the garden, they actually sent angels after her to try to bring her back, because what is it saying if she leaves the garden and isn't respecting God or isn't, being subservient to God or isn't listening to his will because she didn't feel the need to. She was literally created as his equal. And there's even stories going back to where Adam and Eve were created as God's equal.
Right.
And that's where it's hard to find. There's not a concrete answer because Lilith is so demonized throughout history that you don't
right.
even Googling, people that respect her. So, no, sorry. Was when I don't care. Go into the other room. Stop with the whining. Go to bed. Sorry.
My kids up.
But that's when they were given their body forms, like as we see ourselves now. That is when they were given like flesh. Like the Bible says that they were naked and they put leaves on themselves. No, that's when they were actually given bodies. So Lilith was never given a body because she wasn't cast out of the garden. She left. So she still exists in the spirit form. And then it even says that she would be the mother of all the demons, but any children that she would have would die. They would never be able to live. And that was her curse for leaving the garden instead of staying and going back with Adam. I'm trying to follow along, but now I'm way behind on the comments.
Right, but she was standing up for herself, I feel like,
Humans, Christian God wanted. Yes and no. And supposedly Lilith is Lucifer's wife. I'm not really into that story so much. I don't think that, how do I put this? I don't think she was ever married to the devil. The problem that I had with trying to find YouTube videos of people that were, that had a relationship with Lilith is that a lot of them are dark and they invoke the spirit of Lilith, and it looks like a freak show. I'm not like making fun of anybody. I'm not trying to be that person, but I mean, they literally paint her as a demon, almost like a satanic worship. And that wasn't my relationship,
Right.
which I think it was so hard for me to accept that she is the one that was there,
Right.
because of the fact that so many people had such a different, almost disgusting relationship with her in my eyes. So
Right.
I'm trying to post the link to that. Let's see if I am able to do this. I really suck at technology. I am too old for this. Let's see. I really do. Yes, I don't want to get close to her for evil. She's just not evil to me. She's just never been. She definitely protects her own, and she definitely gives the motivation, I guess, to be like, I'm not gonna roll over and just take it from this person. But she's not like gonna kill your children. It's not who she is. Okay, now I cannot figure this out. If I can do it.
Yeah, I was just saying in the comments about how, Madame Luna was saying, I never knew that about her curse, and it makes me want to look further into her, like, pronto. And I'm like, dude, same here, because I think she would be amazing to work with, in matters of...
have a relationship with Lilith when we're done.
Right? Well, I mean, definitely if you have something going on where it causes need for you to really stick up for yourself, I think Lilith would definitely be awesome to work with, because, I mean, look at everything with all those stories from the Bible and what she went through. She was just trying to stand up for herself, and the fact that, her and Adam were created as equals in the beginning. That's just my thought.
Well, and she still exists. There's still references to her in the Bible. She's a screech owl in the night. I think I just posted a YouTube link for you, Bobby. She goes into how she discovered a relationship with Adam. She talks about a couple of books. I posted it as NightshadeMoon. Sorry, y'all. It's posted as you.
It's all good.
Computer. But she talked
yeah,
about,
I don't have a computer, so that's how we had to make this work.
Hover over. I got it, Noah. It was hard, but I figured it out. Poor Noah has had to even though he has a YouTube video, I have a Mac and I'm retarded when it comes to technology in general. And poor Noah has been a trooper through this whole thing. Because I probably would have been like, just figure it out and hung up the phone.
Well, that's what we were trying. We were trying to be that way in the beginning. I was like, all right, I'll just figure something out, and then
Basically, I was like, hey, can you just do it, and I'll just call me into the chat, and we'll be good. And then I end up having to figure it out, and
if I had a laptop or something, I definitely would have been able to do it once after watching Noah's video. Definitely helpful. Thanks,
technology
Noah.
Do not mix at all. So thank you, Noah. Poor Noah with the patience of 100 preschool teachers, because he put up with me. No, really.
100 preschool teachers. That's awesome.
He's like, no, go back. I can't see. He's like, you can flip your camera around so I can see the computer. Oh, that would make things easier, wouldn't it? If you could see what I was doing instead of just describe something that doesn't make sense. So you
trying to turn your wrist just so you can see?
I'm like, how do I turn this upside down and backwards?
Oh, that's funny. Anybody have any questions though, for real? Doesn't feel like we've even been on here that long, and here we've been on here almost an hour now.
Really? Oh, I didn't. Dude, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know how far past my bedtime this is? And I'm not tired. Oh my God.
You're up past your bedtime. Whoop whoop.
Like way past my bedtime.
I hear you.
I should be asleep. Good thing I don't have to get up in the morning.
I have insomnia and I'm up till like
Trying
2
to
in the
see
morning
if
every night.
I don't care about period talk. Good, Bobby. The Bible says this for. But yeah, I really
Yeah, we're
don't.
just gonna talk about it. So.
I don't follow the Lucifer part of the story. There are like when he was cast out that Lilith married him, or that they reigned hell together. It kind of relates back to Hermes, Hades. It reminded me of a Greek story. Hades and who was he married to?
See, I don't even know all that stuff. You're
Hades,
talking about stuff I don't
isn't
really
it
know much
Hecate?
about.
You're naked. Whatever. Okay. Say hi to
What's up,
everyone.
dude? He's a cutie.
Yeah.
Aww.
And now he's watching himself sit down. You silly.
Pretty cool.
He has on underwear, in case you guys are wondering. But where was I? Oh, Hades, Persephone. Who was he married to? Somebody tell me in the comments. Anyway, the story of Lilith and Lucifer kind of reminded me. I just ate 2 almond cookies and took it for dinner. Pepper Jack is in the comments again with the food.
Right? Come on, Pepper.
When we did our test chat, he was, I just ate this and that and the other thing. Night, Raven.
Now here you go with the tacos.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with tacos. But if we're going to talk about food, we're going to talk about tacos.
That's great.
Go play. So yeah, where was I?
I thought you were asking me about who Lucifer was married to or something like that.
Yeah,
when you were saying.
the story of Lucifer and Lilith reminded me of, dude, Hades with the big dogs. Is it Hades is in charge of the underworld. Me and my Greek mythology, I should know it better, but I don't. Whoever he was married to, but the story of Lilith and Lucifer reminded me of that. So I don't really connect to that story. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying, or that, the Bible got it wrong, or
right.
It's not something that resonates for me. But I think that because she's so demonified, in the Bible, she's still mentioned as the screech owl in the night.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Pepper's comment.
Chinese 2 farts later, and there's room for more. Farts, we can talk about periods. I mean, it's along the same line.
Farts are hilarious, so I'm just saying.
Okay, Pepper Jackie is fascinated with Lilith. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't. The problem I have with Lilith is, one, it's hard to find actual stories that I connect with.
Right.
And 2, that she is always cast as this demon and the mother of all, vampires and succubi and demons and it's Lilith's fault. And I just don't feel that way, because that's not the relationship that I have with her.
Right.
People talk about her or talk about, their relationship. Even I went through YouTube videos when I first started getting into YouTube, and these people freaked me the fuck out. They were, when you can tell people just didn't protect themselves when they went into their circle. Like, they didn't, when they started working with these different things, they didn't protect themselves, and they kind of lose that mindset where I'm not saying people are crazy. Like, I'm not saying that people need medication or witches, and that's not what I'm saying at all. But, you know, the people that just didn't do it, they either need a really good cleansing or they need somebody to come in and like exorcise the demons because they're there. That is what a lot of the, like, if you Google look, that's a lot of the people that you see, and they're trying to invoke this spirit and invoke this sexuality. And if you look up videos for Lilith and you look up videos for people that are like Satan worshipers, you get the same type of
Right.
yeah, like you get the same impression of it, and you get the same almost reactions to it. And so
Right.
when I was getting into it, and like I had an altar set up to a female goddess, but I wouldn't call it Lilith because of what everybody said Lilith was. So I was like, it's this female entity. I don't know, but there's her offering. That's what she wants. You know,
Right.
conversations with it. You know, I'd light the candles and you could like feel the energy in the room, but I wouldn't call it Lilith because everything that I saw, Lilith was a demon. And because I had this very mothering effect, I was like, well, maybe it's Hecate, maybe it's this person, maybe it's just somebody I'm making up. But so like I said, it took the blackbirds to really figure it out that, okay.
Yeah.
It's
definitely nice to talk to someone else to definitely like help you realize the validation of that, you know, that's who it is. I mean, I definitely have had to like kind of reach out and be like, you know, I don't know why I can't stop thinking about Hecate. I don't know why I can't get her out of my head, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, do you think she's really trying to get in touch with me kind of thing? And, you know, it turns out it was definitely her. I was just kind of like doubting a little bit, you know, and you can't help it but doubt, especially like in your situation. That sucks that like most of the stuff out there is all about her being some demon and stuff, you know. Maybe you're you know, she needs you to show people that you know, if you talk about her more, or maybe on your channel, I don't know.
And the link that I posted, she had the same experience with Lilith, where she was very mothering to her. And that's, like, I cried on the video. And Noah gave it to me. I think he sent me the link, like, a week ago, maybe. It wasn't that long.
Right.
And I was like, oh, my God, somebody that's not seeing her, like, as this demon figure. Thank goodness, like, I'm not alone, and I'm not, because especially when you walk this path, it's hard to find other people that have the same experiences as you, especially when it's not like Hecate or one of the more you know, known goddesses.
Right.
You know, and Lilith's actually
Noah's saying walk the line. I know, he was just saying walk the line as a live stream series is such a great idea.
Thanks, Noah. Next time we'll be the Sandersons and we'll find a blonde. But where was I? Sorry, I get so like.
No, I know. I hear you. It's a lot.
I actually peppered Jackie. I'm gonna do a haul, but I ordered pretty much Joey's whole Lilith line. The candles, just because I wanted to do a whole video. I'm gonna do her House of Conjure and Sage and Salt. As soon as and it'll be like the second video on my channel because I have so many. At least you have on clothes. This is my daughter.
Hi.
Say hi. Hi. No, wave up here. See, she can see you up there. No, Miss America wave.
She's cute.
Let's see. Lucifer people work with Lucifer and Lilith and some because in that sense, Bobby, I think working with Lucifer's like working with Hades. I think more of the guardian of the underworld type of Lucifer than it is the satanic upside down pentagram Lucifer that people have so much. I guess it's like it's hyped by Hollywood and like, you know, the movies. I agree. Like if you're gonna Thank you, Noah. Yes, my kids are adorable. But I don't like. Oh, okay. Back to Lilith. She actually has 3-phase as well, like Hecate does, where the mother maiden crone. Lilith actually has a dark version of that, and where I think Hecate comes out on the full moon. I don't know, so I could be screwing this up. Lilith actually, one of her phases is the dark moon. Watch too. Babies, this isn't even interesting for you.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You think
it is?
I'm sorry, you guys, if my TV is like ungodly loud right now, but I feel like it is.
But she is basically, in some of my like earlier readings, they had her as basically like the dark side of Hecate, or because there's a Celtic version of Mother Maiden Crone as well.
Right.
Where she was basically the opposite of that. But she has the 3 moon phases as well, the Mother Maiden Crone. And she had, I'm trying to think. I don't know, people, hey, babies, you need to go because mommy's going to talk about stuff you can't hear. You can take the tablet and watch Trolls or sing.
It's all good.
I didn't even faces until I saw the playback down here. 1, and 2, next time don't make faces. Okay. So they invoke Lilith through sex, and there are go into the bedroom. There are actual ceremonies where you can invoke her power through sex and through orgasm, and basically like through masturbation, and you use that for your spell. I don't have that relationship with her, and I think having going into, because it's such like a mothering, I don't know if it's uncomfortable for her or it's just not, or uncomfortable for me, I mean, or it's just not how she really. I don't feel the need to go there or to experience her that way. And I said this in the comments. I don't know if I said it out loud, but I've always felt a power in sex, but I don't relate to it that way. I don't know. No, I don't relate to her through sex. But a lot of, there's one book, it's on, if you have a Kindle and you get like the Kindle Prime or whatever, where you get like free Kindle books. It goes through a whole ceremony with her, and you invoke her through orgasm, and it's just not, it didn't even relate. Feel the connection there. So that's just not how I see how I work with her.
I mean, people that do that, that's cool. It's on you, you know? That's what you want to do. Go for it, you know?
And I'm sure there's people that do have that relationship with her, and I'm sure there's women that have that relationship with her, and men too. But I don't. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, or that's just not my relationship with her. And and that again goes back to me having so much trouble accepting that she was the one on my altar, because you don't find anything that matches up with that. And so the video that I put in the links, first time I heard somebody actually reference her the way that I felt, and it was just nice to not feel alone, and nice to know that it was like the final information that I needed to know that
that's good, you know? Yeah, I don't know that I'd be comfortable relating to Hecate like that. If, you know, I don't know, maybe there's people out there that do that. And I definitely believe sex is very powerful, and the energy from that is very powerful, and, you know, but I don't know that I would want to relate to, you know, my goddess like that either. It's kind of not for me, you know, to each their own.
Is energy and sex is power, but I don't, you know, I'll use my menstrual blood before I'll use sex. For energy and a spell.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of how I feel, so.
I'm trying to see if there's any questions other that I missed.
I know, I was trying to look.
Oh, Lucifer. If you guys do want to ask questions, I'm gonna post it in caps because I'm missing a lot of comments. I definitely walk a straight line right now. Are you sure you can walk a straight line, Noah? Because that's 24 hours. Did you get your chocolate, Noah? That's my next question. Because that's what he actually went to the store to get his chocolate so he could go to sleep. Because apparently sugar makes him fall asleep.
I wish that did that to me. Jeez, I have insomnia so bad.
Really?
I'm the worst. Yeah, like I'll be up till 2, 3 in the morning. If I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, forget it. I'll be up for 3 hours. And then I feel like every time I wake up, Gage is awake, and I'm like, go back to bed, bud. It's crazy.
What is the you use menstrual blood? The dark moon.
You for the dark moon? I feel like for me it depends on what you're doing, and you know.
I
depends on how it feels.
Follow the phases of the moon, and I don't. Sometimes the spell just has to be cast, and it can't wait for the next full moon or moon or quarter moon or waning moon. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you just need to get shit taken care of.
Right.
I tend to pay more attention to the days of the week. Because I don't just work with Lilith, I work with Papa Legua. Yes, I'm, what is that? Pantheons. But my background is very diverse. And so is my practice. I guess I'll put it that way. My family is actually Hawaiian, like original homestead, Hawaiian, cannibal Hawaiian.
That's awesome though.
On my wrist, which is actually Hawaiian sea god. Not that I think you can see that. Okay.
I see it.
But my grandmother, who was uber Catholic my whole life, was actually praying to the Hawaiian gods in Hawaiian on her deathbed. So I know there's stories that they didn't tell me.
Right.
But relate to the Hawaiian gods, and Hawaiian gods are really hard to find information about too. I don't know what it is about my path and why they don't just write books, but you know, with the 13-letter alphabet that the Hawaiians have, it was really hard to even find out what their ceremonies were like, or what, because a lot of it is like Wikipedia cartoon versions of it. I'm hoping more comes out because Moana came out and Disney made it cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on.
I love that
I have
movie.
chocolate pops, not afraid to suck them. You have chocolate pops and you're not afraid to suck them. Pepper jacking, maybe you should just lay off the food for a while, or at least food talk, because now you're just not making you like to suck them. Cool. Glad my children left the room. My daughter can read. Good night, Madam Luna.
Nighty night, love.
Gifted waters. Blessed be my fellow witches. Congrats, Nightshade.
Thank you.
But I work with Papa Legua too, and his night is Friday. So I tend to work with him on Fridays and Mondays. And Lilith doesn't really have a specific night, but I know there's definitely more energy when there's wouldn't stop me from doing something any other time of the week or month. And they say you're supposed to have more energy during your period. That is some bullshit. Because all I want to do is curl up in a ball and sleep. What?
Somebody like banged, my neighbor like banged the wall or something. I was just like, I wasn't expecting that. Oh man. It's so weird watching yourself, like when you're trying to read the comments
There's
and
a
it's like delayed.
Alego is my man, such a trickster, just like me. Yeah, Alego and I kind of had a little tiff. We worked it out, but he's another one that I have a different relationship with. He has more of a fatherly role in my life. Yeah, mother and father, from two different pantheons. Go figure. But he had his own corner at my house, and now here, because like the only reason you see the statue of Lilith is because I can close this curtain during the day, so nobody really knows that it's there because nobody opens up this curtain. But I don't really have a place for him.
Right.
And he was definitely pissed. His little temper tantrum. But he has a stool now that is gonna have to be put away during the day, and then I'll probably bring it out at night. But I don't know how I'd explain to my dad's home health care worker, who is super religious, that so like when you just need to leave alone because she's in everything everywhere. So you know, it's probably gonna be put away during the week, and then I'll just have it out during night. But I actually ordered House of Conjure, and it'll be in my video, the Legua candle, and the energy from the box, like just when I was enough to get me out of my like little spiritual funk that I've had since I've been here, because I don't have my space. I literally went from having like a room to a corner, and I don't know if y'all can see, but what you see right now is pretty much what I have as far as like, it's literally a corner in a room. The TV's right there, and like there's a fireplace right here. So it's, I mean, maybe 3 feet by 3 feet that I kind of like cram my craft into. So
I have the top of my dresser, and that's like it, and a bookshelf.
At least you get the bookshelf though. Like I have to hide, like I only have 3 books because they can fit into here. Like, but I do have a fixation with crosses lately. I don't know if it's a religious thing or what.
Right.
I definitely like this has crosses on it. Not that you can probably see, it's leather. But it has crosses on it, and I have a couple of candle holders that had crosses on it. Hobby Lobby was having a sale, and
that's
I don't
cool.
know if that. Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know what the crosses is about. I don't know if it's some kind of like Christian Lilith thing, or if it's just my own fixation. But Allegua has a space and he's happy about it. And when I lit the candle for him and like really went into meditation with him, like the energy was so thick you could feel it. And
that's
it
awesome.
hadn't been.
I love those type of connections. It's great. You just feel so like invigorated afterwards, you know.
Gifted Waters, I don't speak Spanish. I have no idea what you just said.
I don't
at all.
I don't speak Spanish either, but
Yo bien y tú. I'm good. Thank you for Gunter. I don't know what that
for
is.
a question. Oh,
thank you
for asking.
Something.
Thank you for asking.
Oh, okay.
I can read. I understand a little bit. I practice a little bit of everything.
I was saying it to Bobby. Okay.
I see she was she or he, Gifted Waters, was asking if I practice Santeria or voodoo. I practice a little bit of everything, but I would definitely be down to learn more about voodoo. I'm sure there's tons I don't know, and I would love to learn more about Santeria.
Oh, I missed so many comments talking. Hold on, I have to like back it up.
That's why I kept looking over. I was listening to you and reading.
Okay, do you guys work with Afro-Caribbean deities? I don't know what that means. I do work with African Laos. And like I said, I set up an altar to La Seren before I knew I was a witch. And
what's Bobby saying? Something about witches? Sorry.
Do you make no? But I probably will now. I only have one video, and it's the 60 witchy question tags that Noah made me do. But I will probably start making videos, maybe. Hoodoo mixed with Native American here. Hi Gifted Water is asking, but you read it, yay. Mienteme. I'm here. I don't know what Vindo is, but I know Brujas is which. I like the Orishas. I don't connect with Oshun. I do connect with Lasaran, but again, it's that water energy that has always been very familiar to me. Those are really the only two. I never really dove into the African laws or the African beliefs, but those were the ones that kind of presented themselves to me. But with La Seren, it's more of a healing relationship.
Right.
You know, and she has a very similar energy sometimes to Lilith, where it's almost like putting the blanket over you and patting you on the back. But she does, after I did some background reading on her, she also is like the vengeful type and will come to you for revenge.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah. And that's usually what people connect Lasaran with is Yamiya. I never called her that. But I've always been fascinated with the story of the sirens, which I think is why I always relate to her as Lasaran, the mermaid. But even like when stuff gets really, really dark, and I'll be like, okay, just show me, you know, that you're here. It'll be her coming out of the water. Like, it'll be her coming out of the water, but almost like that mermaid. And then when it was different, she almost had like a hissing voice.
Right. That's so cool, though. I would love to learn more about Santeria, for real.
There's a lot of YouTube videos about it.
I know. I need to definitely look into some more. I'm trying to find what I guess like practices are like for people of my ancestral heritage, like because I found out like a lot of different things in my ancestry last year that I had no idea about. So I've definitely been trying to find some stuff on YouTube more about that, so I can kind of like one day I want to have like an ancestor altar, and I would like to have like little pieces of maybe each craft from each type of ancestry or whatever history that's in my family like incorporated in there. So I definitely am trying to like look into a lot of stuff to find anything Portuguese, because I am, I don't know, 20 or 30% Portuguese or something like that. And from Spain and all these other crazy places.
You're Portuguese,
So,
I'm Portuguese, but I don't really.
Are you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm an Irish.
I don't know a lot about it.
German.
You're Irish?
Portuguese, Hawaiian, so go.
I'm like everything.
I am. I don't really.
My family got around back in the day.
You know? Really, well, my grandmother, her mother is like original homestead Hawaiian. My grandfather was for Germany and came over during the war.
Okay.
My mother is Portuguese and Hawaiian, and apparently, because my aunt had like a DNA test, somebody was either Greek, or I think it's like Spain. But I guess the bloodlines are so close that they can't really tell the difference if they're doing like a DNA tracker. But we don't know what family that's from. My dad is Irish, German, Scotch. No, Irish, Scottish. My grandfather was a little bit Cherokee Indian. But like now every time I ask my dad about our heritage, I get 25 different questions. I did find out that my dad on both sides had Masons. My great grandfather was a Mason, and my great grandfather was a Mason, and his dad was a Mason. So my
That's awesome.
grandmother's father was a Mason, and then my grandfather was a Mason. And I was reading, I think it's A Solitary Witch, where she talked about how the Masons are basically like code for witches.
Which
So
is
I
cool.
found that really interesting. You ask them, they're all Presbyterian. So.
Right. Yeah.
Was a
Comments.
Yeah. Snakes can. Okay, so I had this dream that one. Like, what are your thoughts? Dream that one face by a snake. Wait, I don't. Am I reading? Okay, so I had this dream that on the face by a snake. What are your thoughts on this? On the saints, if you want to me to share it with you. She has some information on this.
That'd be cool.
I don't.
That'd be cool.
Understand your question. Can you rephrase it? Because I don't think I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah, I'm confused. Oh, a dream that you got bit on the face by a snake?
Oh, okay. Bit on the
What do you
face
mean?
by a snake.
She wrote got bit. Are you a she?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I keep saying she.
Reverse sex energy.
Got bit.
Then I have a book on spirit animals right here. Why did you just throw my tablet at me?
Pepper Jackie, that's some awesome stuff right there. Definitely, rebirth, sex energy, transformation.
Lilith is oftentimes represented by a snake. But hold on, I have a book. As I said, I'm not a book witch, but here's my book that'll tell you all about stuff.
Sorry, Gifted. I didn't want to be wrong. It's hard, your name. It's hard to tell if you're a he or she. I just didn't want to be rude.
Is it a she?
Yes, she's a she.
Good.
I didn't want to be rude.
You know who knows a lot about animals and their representation is Nico. And I only know the ones that like I associate with. NOP snake.
I just think transformation is a big one for me with snakes. I don't know.
And shedding the skin.
Yeah.
Which would go to the rebirth, but
Agree, Pepper Jackie. It definitely could mean like keep your guard up kind of thing.
10, 11.
Did you fight me?
Not fair. 31, 118. Let's go to 118.
You're a dick. She's tooting in my video, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me, I swear. I own up to it.
Was there anything else in your dream, or was it just the snake? I've been having that feeling.
The feeling about
yeah, like do you feel like you're being attacked? Go. Stop it. Well, why don't you lay down and get ready for bed? You guys are both rubbing your eyes.
Dude, speaking of getting ready to go to bed, I'm tired.
Right?
I'm all stumbling over my words now. For once, I might sleep tonight. Don't laugh at me.
This is like the worst thing ever if you're looking for something, because here, Cobra, what kind of snake was it? Because apparently I can narrow it down for you by type of snake. We have the Cobra, the adder, I don't know. Let's see, where else is it? What monkey?
What bed do we go?
Can you have a dream about a unicorn? There's like 5 pages on unicorns. Down on my.
Of course.
Thank God, one bit me. Just snakes, but one bit me. A woman dies in a dream, and she's pregnant. That's what I heard. I heard that if you die in a dream, you die in real life. I think it was a cobra. Okay, there's a page on cobras in here.
I'm not sure about that. if a woman dies in a dream, does that mean she's pregnant? I'm not really sure.
There's a lot of myths about what happens if you die in a dream. One is that your heart stops. One is that you die in real life. I've never heard the pregnant one, but I mean, I don't think I've died in dreams, but I don't really die. Like I'm still alive, but I'm dead. If that
Right.
um
I had some crazy dreams in my life.
Never get Indian thing.
It's all good, Gifted. She's like, sorry, don't mind me. I took over your chat.
No worries. I've had this book for like 2 months and I haven't opened it yet. So I feel like, but this doesn't have what I'm looking for. This just talks about species of snake. This is like the National Geographic's version of spirit animals. Like it tells you there's snakes found on 7 different continents.
But yeah, because that's really what I want to know when talking about
Right?
spirit animals. You could have Googled and got that.
Like, no, I want to know the mystery meaning of snakes.
Right. What does it mean when you're dreaming about it?
Do you think that the dream was a warning, or do you think that you're afraid of something, Gifted Waters? Do you need to fill a need?
Definitely a good question. Anybody else have any questions?
We can add her on Facebook.
Will do.
What are you doing?
Was trying to kill me.
I doubt he was trying to kill you.
No, I wasn't. I was just trying to snuggle with her.
Okay, well maybe.
Alligator.
I think we, if you guys don't have any more questions, I know I'm gonna have to get to bed soon.
Agreed. Same here.
Alligators can be good or bad. They're the more docile. I think crocodiles are like when they're bad. But I don't know like the spiritual meaning of alligator.
I'm all yawning.
But it's another reptile.
She's like, okay, enough
And that's
about my
what
crazy. We're like reading it at the same time. Get out of my brain.
Let's see. Night love.
Pepper,
Sorry.
it's all good.
No. Pepper Jack, have you ever seen me in the comments? I'm usually talking about like tacos while people are in like deep spiritual thought. So
Non-stop tacos.
Yeah, like tacos and taco trucks. That I feel like I'm always on like a different conversation than whatever people are talking about.
Right. What made you take your paths? Eating them at the same time.
You want to go first?
Just being, yeah, sure. I mean, just being called to it, you know, you just could tell me when I was a kid that witches weren't real. Like, I was a witch for Halloween every year, you know, I knew they were real. They had to be, you know, I don't know. You just feel this heart. Like, I can't explain it. It's insane and amazing, but, you know, you just can't get out of your head. And then one day you come across this book and you're like, ooh, it is real. Oh my God, I was right for all these years. And you just go with it. It feels right, and you go with it.
I had a different experience, obviously, because I didn't come into my path till much later in life. Like, because I grew up in, like, my mom was always so Christian. I did a report on witchcraft in like 8th grade, and she drew a cross and oil on the screen to like keep the demons in the computer. I don't know. So
wow, really?
Yes, I grew up being told that witchcraft wasn't real. So even though I was interested,
right.
Even though it's something that I wanted to know more about, it wasn't something that I believed, but it was always something that fascinated me.
Right.
And the way that I actually came to my path, I literally like tripped and fell into it. Was trying, you know, like the Meetup, it's an app where you can like go join groups to like play volleyball or you know,
I've heard of it.
my friend's like, you should do this. It'll get you like to meet people. Like she wanted me to go on dates with like people that had the same interest in me. So she's like, do this. It'll get you to meet new people. So I go through and it's like mountain climbing and exercise and, you know, stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I don't like volleyball. Nope, don't like sports. Don't. And actually, like, I just randomly entered in like tarot reading, and I found like a tarot teacher. And so I started off that way. But like I said, she was giving me spells to do and had me set up an altar to last night.
Right.
And looking back, especially because I didn't have this as like my path yet, like there should have been something in me that was like, no, you shouldn't light a candle to get somebody to tell you the truth. Like, that's not what people do. You shouldn't be putting chamomile and white flowers on your head. Like, that's not what normal people do. But it felt very natural to me. And so there wasn't a point where I stepped back and was like, oh, this is wrong. I'm not a Christian. Like, there wasn't that. And then when I was actually going to a woman that does the cleansing, she does like a card reading before to see if she can perform the cleansing and if it's going to work and what she needs to do for it. And so I talked to her one day. And again, this isn't ringing any bells that witchcraft, because, you know, I'm so smart. But she's like, the next day she calls me. She's like, well, I did the reading and I can do the cleansing, but I ended up doing a whole reading on you. And I tell you something. Like, okay, what is it? She's like, well, I don't know how to tell you this. And I'm like, what? I have horns growing out of my head? Like, what's? She's like, well,
right, like, just get it out with it.
Yeah, like, spit it out. She's like, you're a witch. I'm like, okay. She's like, that doesn't surprise you? And I'm like, no, actually, my whole life now makes sense. Thanks. Like, thanks for letting me know, because now it all makes sense. And the night that she did the cleansing, it was like a veil had been lifted, like, from my eyes. And I actually saw, I don't know if anybody believes in past lives, but I do.
I do.
My most recent past life makes a lot of things that happen in my life make sense, and a lot of reasons why things happen the way that they happen, because it was to set right things that had gone wrong.
Right.
Most recent past life. But I actually knew her in a past, like, I knew her spirit guide in a past life, and she actually revealed herself during the cleansing, and I saw her spirit guide more real than I saw her. And she actually turned and laughed and was like, I got this. And I was like, and then when she was doing the cleansing, because she's a medium, her her guide came out, and it was so familiar to me. And I was like, wait, I want to ask you questions. Like, don't go. Like, taken care of. But it was like, it was almost like this has happened before. It was a total feeling of deja vu. And
but that felt so cool.
You know, cool, but it's also something like, because then afterwards, when she was, because she called me after I left while she was still doing the cleansing, and I'm like, who was the woman with the cigar? And she's like, yeah, you saw her. And I'm like, yeah, I saw her more real than I saw you. Like, what? Because I still didn't understand that's what was going on. This was all new to me. But once I got rid of that spirit, like, it was like things just came flooding in. And so, yeah. And I think that's where a lot of my hoodoo comes from, and a lot of the practice is from my most recent past life. Because, I mean, obviously, if you look at me, I have a few, like, freckles. I have a lot of freckles, actually. But I don't, like, you wouldn't think that I had any type of voodoo or African American in my past, but my most recent past life, she actually was a conjurer.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of stuff that I do made that make sense. So.
Right. That's awesome. That's so neat.
No, Hallmark does not make a card for coming out as a witch.
Right.
Good night, Pepper Jackie. And I still
Pepper.
like really the only people that there's like one person that I work with and YouTube knows that I'm a witch, and that's about. I mean, people ask questions because I like a lot of witchy pages on my Facebook, but and then I just toss a lot of stuff up as to being from California and a hippie. So, you know, you cover up, oh, I'm saging the house because I'm from California and that's what hippies do. So, you know, I stuff off to from California.
I share whatever on my Facebook page. There's tons of witchy stuff everywhere, and you know, I don't know. I'm pretty much out to everybody. Depending, I might not just flat out say like, yeah, I'm a witch out of the blue, of course. But you know, depending on who it is, I might not just answer them directly if they ask me. Mm-hmm. You know, but I already know that I'm a witch. I don't really feel like there's a point in hiding it, and some people have to, you know. Some people could be in danger of not having a place to live if they came out about it, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's another reason I'm glad I wasn't a witch as a teenager, because I don't know how I would have handled it. I mean, you have so many things going on at that age that I don't know how throwing something into that. Stop fighting. Right. But one person actually asked if I was wicked, which I'm not. So I answered it honestly and said,
yeah.
You know, they're like, well, are you Wiccan? Nope, absolutely not. I am not Wiccan. And I can say that. Nothing wrong with Wiccans, just not my path. And so if you ask me if I'm a Wiccan, the answer is no. Now, if you ask me if I'm a witch, that's a different question. But he didn't come out and ask me that till, you know, 2 months later. He's like, well, how come you said no the first time I asked him? Like, because you asked me if I was a Wiccan. I am not Wiccan. Wiccan is a religion, not mine.
Relax, China. Hey. My dog's growling at people. Come here.
It is
every time they go in and
11 o'clock, dude. We've been on this chat for almost 2 hours. I need to get to bed.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right? I didn't even notice.
Me too. I know. I'm like, what? Wait.
Yeah, dude, it's almost 11 o'clock.
I would definitely say I'm eclectic. Eclectic, yes.
Well, let's pause here and we'll do the next I Walk the Line.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. But I need to get to bed because it's like super, super late.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for doing this live video with me.
Yes.
With you. Snuggle.
And she wants to go to bed right now. Good night, all. So now hopefully I can end this chat.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. I'm going to see
if I can
figure it out. Well, okay, so I think I have to push stop broadcast.